and welcome to VOS Red Carpet. I am your host, Jeannie Niwa. On this episode of Red Carpet, we have holiday window displays in New York. We also speak to Nigerian American singer Nora Adei, and a Continental Canoe Sprint Olympics qualifier takes off in Nigeria. Let's go on with the show. All right, let's begin with some sport news. South Africa and Nigeria led the wins at the Africa Canoe Sprint Olympics qualifier, recently held in Abuja, Nigeria. Both nations had athletes qualified to compete in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Gibson Emeka has this story from Abuja, Nigeria, narrated by Jackson Vunganyi. Let's take a look.
Athletes from 16 African countries paddled it out at the 9th African Canoeing Championship in the waters of Jabi Lake in Abuja recently. Some of the winners, like Christian Kotzi, won a spot in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
It's been a tough competition, very hot conditions, but we're making the best of it, and we really gave it a proper effort. The goal was to qualify for Paris 2024, and we managed to do that. So we're happy with it.
Beauty Otuedo, a Nigerian athlete, is also excited to be going to Europe for the Olympics.
I qualify for 500 race for gold medal. I'll be going to Olympic Paris.
Compared to other sports, canoeing is still in its early stages in Africa. Nigeria was hosting the Olympic qualifiers for the first time.
Today we organize the Olympic qualifier in our continent. This is very important for developing the sport in our continent. So I am very, very happy. And
Sports pundit Godstime Egelege Idama commends the organization for hosting the event despite some logistical hiccups.
The organization for me is what is top-notch. They have done Nigeria proud.
And while the sport is seeing steady growth, Kim Popo, president of Canoeing South Africa, says support for canoeing in Africa remains low.
It comes down to funding. You know, we're obviously not as big, so you don't get the TV time, we don't get the press coverage. So we need to go and have a look at the private sector. We've got to speak to and sell our stories.
Nigeria currently holds 3 gold medals from the Olympics. The nation's athletes say they're hoping they can roll their way to more gold in Paris 2024. For Gibson Emeka in Abuja, Nigeria, Jackson Vunganyi, VOA News.
Up next, each year, crowds of tourists and locals alike are drawn to New York City's department store holiday window display. Aaron Renan has the story from the Big Apple. Here's more.
It's the holiday season in New York City, where the streets are filled with visitors and locals alike, eager to catch a glimpse of this year's over-the-top illuminated masterpieces, the annual holiday window displays of the city's iconic department stores and retailers.
You never see anything like it. I come every year to see them, and every year they don't disappoint.
I think they're brilliant. They're spectacular. I mean, it's something I've not ever seen. Most of the time I do on the internet. So being here and seeing all this is just wonderful, and enjoying the shopping part too.
These dazzling displays not only entertain shoppers, but also provide real financial benefits for the department stores in the digital age.
They're a vital tool for retailers. And, even in this world of advanced technology, they serve as a bridge between physical and digital retail worlds. And they offer great opportunities for storytelling and engaging customers in a way that no online platform can really replicate.
And these holiday windows have adorned the streets of New York City for more than a century, says Fashion Institute of Technology professor Ann Kong.
Holiday windows and windows in general go back to the late 1800s or, early 1900s, being a lot more refined. Holiday windows have always been a gift back to the city.
This year's array of experiences includes Tiffany's Showcase of Diamonds, Saks Fifth Avenue Scenes of New York and Paris crafted in collaboration with Dior, Bergdorf Goodman's light, chrome, and mirror effects, and Bloomingdale's Wonka-themed partnership inspired by the new Warner Brothers film.
When we design the windows, we're really looking to bring out the child in all of us. The little touches and the details of sparkle and candy that makes up jacket, really starts to surprise and delight the viewers.
Klimkowski says these windows also entice online shoppers to step into the physical stores.
When you're fully immersed into the experience on the street, gazing at the windows, being delighted, that you can't match that by sitting on the couch at home.
And judging from the bustling streets in front of these spectacular displays, the holiday windows will remain a New York tradition for many years to come. Aaron Rainin, VOA News, New York City.
Now to music. Nigerian American singer Nora Adei went to college to study law. But her real passion was music, which she decided to pursue after law school. The Chicago-based artist, Afro Soul artist, has had a busy year. She released her EP, and to add to the icing on the cake, had the honor of opening for Afrobeat star Area Star's first headline tour in America. She recently sat down with Red Carpet to talk about growing up in Nigeria household in Chicago and how the two cultures influence her music. Let's check it out.
Nora, thank you so much for joining us today on The Voice of America.
Thank you.
Amazing performance.
Thank you.
How are you feeling after your performance?
I'm feeling great, honestly.
It was you haven't even broken the sweat, but the energy
Look.
you had there.
It was great energy. It was great. People yelling back at me.
Absolutely.
That was
Good
awesome.
feedback.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
great. It was great.
So tell us about yourself.
My parents were born. They were born in Nigeria. They came over for college, and then.
So you're first generation American.
Yes, exactly. And I was born in Chicago, born and raised. I grew up both Nigerian and American, right? In a Nigerian household and in Chicago, right?
How did those two cultures influence your music?
I mean, growing up, I would listen to all types of music, right? So when it comes to just Chicago radio, right? Who's on the radio? Jasmine Sullivan's one of my favorites. Lauryn Hill, all types of Molly Music. Who else can I think of at the point? Chrisette Michelle, loved her. But then also Fela, because my parents, would play, or a Sunny Ade, or
all the grits.
Sheena Peters, and it's just people just in general, and church too. I went to a Nigerian church, so I grew up in that environment. Right now, I just put out an EP in April, Afro Soul.
Afro Soul.
Yeah, so it's soul mixed with Afro beats, pretty much, because I have a soul voice. Yeah, exactly.
When you were growing up, did your parents, direct you towards the arts? Creative arts, so
did they direct me towards
any
it?
Nigerian family they were telling you to go to law school?
They told me to go to law school, and I went.
So you went to law school?
I did go to law school, but I don't practice right now. But I am licensed.
Wow.
And I'm just doing music full time though.
Yeah. Are there elements of your culture that you incorporate in your music? Whether it's language?
Absolutely. I put Yoruba in the music, so I'm Yoruba tribe in Nigeria, and it's also the language. So I mix a little bit of that, mix a little bit of pidgin in there. Yeah.
So did you learn how to speak it?
I just never got the courage to talk back.
Yeah.
But if they tell me to go do something, I could probably. I could probably.
When they say about to whoop you, you know that was
absolutely.
So developers at the University of Maryland are using a holographic camera to capture people's movement in 3 dimensions for what could be high-impact training, education, and entertainment. It's technology with the power to transform how we learn and entertain ourselves. VOA's Julie Tabo has more.
Concert violinist Irina Morishano may be playing for a non-existent audience, but not for long. In the specially outfitted Holocamera studio at the University of Maryland, hundreds of 3D cameras are capturing her image and movements to create a lifelike hologram. Her holographic twin can then be placed virtually into any setting so that someone with a virtual reality headset can feel like they're watching her live. In this prototype, Morishano, who is also an associate professor of violin at the university, appears to be performing from a famous concert hall in Romania.
One of the pieces we recorded was a Romanian piece by Romania's most well-known composer, George Enescu. My wish was for me, or for my hologram, I should say, to be put on the stage of the Romanian Athenaeum. So we hired a team to film the Athenaeum so that when someone would watch this recording of the Romanian piece, they would see me on the stage of the Athenaeum.
You see, like all of a sudden it feels very differently.
In addition to teaching in person, Morishano believes holocamera technology will one day help her provide better virtual lessons to her students overseas. The project was developed by Amitabh Varshni and his team at the university's College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences.
In one of the studies we did here at the University of Maryland, we found that people can retain information much better when they are exposed to these virtual environments where they are experiencing the world with their bodies.
Julie Tabo, VOA News, College Park, Maryland.
The plight of fugitives and refugees has been part of the artist Dimas Alexiev's works since he left Russia in 2016. He now lives in the US. Nina Vishneva visited the artist and has this report narrated by Anna Rice. Let's take a look.
It's a question to those Russians who stayed in Russia. Are they responsible for what their country is doing?
Dima Alexeyev has endless questions, and he tries to find answers through his art, addressing the issue of forced migration caused by war and international conflict.
Today, people's unhappiness is especially intense, and it's only growing.
Dima Alexeyev left his successful career and comfortable life in Moscow in 2016. After becoming uneasy with a series of Russian actions, including its annexation of Crimea. He moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and is continuing his art in the US. After Russia invaded Ukraine in late February 2022, Alexeyev started exploring the complex experience of becoming a refugee, from the initial feelings of pain and loss to the realization they may never return home. His work depicted a long path.
If you come up to this work, if you poke it with your finger, there'll be a hole. If the wind blows, it'll be carried away, all crumpled. The same happens to people. When they end up in extreme conditions like migration, they become fragile, transparent.
Alexeyev has focused some of his work on Ukraine. He's attended pro-Ukrainian rallies holding backpacks shaped like civilian buildings in Ukraine that Russian forces shelled and destroyed. Plasticine figures in cement shackles symbolize those who remained in Russia. Alexeyev sees his friends among them, immobilized by their duties and responsibilities in Russia. Alexeyev's works are on display at the Perseus Gallery in New York. For Nina Vishneva in New York, Anna Rice, VOA News.
Well, thanks for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I am your host, Jeannie Niwa. For more on your entertainment news, check us out on voaafrica.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.